Good news, everyone! I found my 5-gallon cooler. For those who follow my channel regularly, last brew day, I thought I lost my 5-gallon cooler. I did not. It was inside, covered in a bag, because I was trying to keep one of the lagers I was making around 60 degrees consistently with a water bath. I just set it aside and I forgot about it. But seriously, don't tell anybody. It's really, really embarrassing. Today, I'm doing a hazy, hoppy, sour. Taking it to another level. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking it to another level. We all know the hazy IPA. We all love and know sours. Why not combine the two into one? Now, IPAs and sour don't technically go along that well together, so I'm going to do a cold steep of my hops on this. Probably around 150 degrees Fahrenheit max. I don't want that much off acids. I want flavor and aroma. I do not know the hops I'm using yet. I'm either going to use the experimental stone fruit hops that I got from Yakima Valley or the Lemonade from them as well. We'll see. I'm going to do a quick sour on this. I'm going to sour using grains, just 2-row, unmilled 2-row to be exact. My favorite quick sour I've ever made was with grains. I've done yogurt, I've done probiotics, I've done regular lactobacillus, and 2-row. And the 2-row one was awesome. To get the haze in this, I'm gonna add a bunch of wheat into this, about 60% wheat, 2-row, and then about 8% flaked oats. And the flaked oats is to help with body a little bit. I'm also mashing pretty warm. I'm mashing around 154 degrees Fahrenheit, help with the body a little bit. Also, my sulfite to chloride ratio is more on the hazy IPA side of things. My chloride's going for about 120 ppm, and my sulfate's about 100, no, it's like 70 ppm. So all parameters are going to be set in place here to get the mouthfeel and body on this to the hazy IPA level range, if you will. It's vital, too, if you're using anything that's like yogurt, probiotics, something that's not harvested, that you get your pH to 4.5 first. It's also important to get your pH 4.5 first, even if you're pitching regular lactobacillus, because it prevents the lactobacillus from breaking down the proteins, starting at a lower pH. And if it breaks down the proteins too much, you'll have a thinner beer. Also, getting your pH of 4.5 or lower helps with any sort of wild bacteria getting in that you do not want, or acetic acid and butyric acid, which are like stinky stuff. Also, I'm going to purge the crap out of this with CO2. I want this to be a completely CO2 contained environment that really helps anything wild getting in. I'm going to fill this all the way to the top too, all the way to the top of the 1 gallon to help with the oxygen situation. I'm going to keep it around 100 degrees Fahrenheit, a body heating pad. So this thing, I don't know how quite hot it gets, but I have it in my smaller test freezer right now, or fridge I should say. So what I'm going to do is use this, put my temp controller up to 100, and see if I can keep it at 100 for the course of 2-3 days. So yeah, let's go. Clip. Next step. Last couple brew days, I've been doing cold sparges. Figured this time I'd do a regular sparge, heat it up, and see if I get any efficiency difference. So I'm doing somewhat of a step mash this time. I wasn't planning on it, but I hit my initial mash. It was a little low. It was like 150 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to raise it up to like 154 with some boiling water. Okay, good. I added a little bit at a time, and I'm at 153. So that's good.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again.
That was a close one. I'm going to heat this up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit to pasteurize for about 5 minutes, cool it down to 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and pitch the grain. But first I'm going to get this to the pH of 4.5. Took 2 full milliliters to get to 4.5 from 5.7 for a 1.15 gallon batch. Good to know, I guess. 10:45. It's a little low. It's going for 10:48 pre-boil or pre-souring. My plan is to boil for about 10-15 minutes after this is done, but I might boil a little longer just to get a little more bump in my gravity. But it's okay. So it's interesting to see that the batch sparging really didn't change much in my efficiency. So I'm gonna go back to the cold sparge. It was working well. I think I got about like 66, 67% efficiency, where normally I get like 72 with my recent cold sparging I've been doing. So yeah, let's fast forward 2 days from now where I take a pH reading and see where this puppy's at. And here we are 24 hours later. I know I said it was gonna be 2 days, but it's been 1 day. We're gonna test this out, 'cause upon more research, this can be done in 24 hours. Something I wanna clear up really quickly. I got my pH at 4.5, ideally looking into this a little further, it's better to get to 4.4. If you're doing commercial strains, 4.3 to 4.0 is even better. This is off Milk the Funk, by the way. They have great resources there. So I did also mention that butyric acid and isovaleric acid can be a thing. I kind of brush over it though. It is kind of important to keep in mind these things. We're using grains. Isovaleric acid can actually be formed through an aerobic contaminant, which can be found on grains. That's why it's purging the CO2. Isovaleric acid has like a stinky feet, cheesy thing going on, whereas butyric acid has more of a vomit. So anything those weird off flavors that you get resulting from contaminants, that's not good. You're doing a pure culture. CO2 is not necessarily needed as much, but still a good idea to purge your CO2. Always good to get your pH 4.5 or lower. 4.4 is better before you do any of this, because that helps with head retention regardless, and it still helps to any possible contamination. I also, looking into this, I got this a lot hotter. I ended it in the video saying I think my temperature was set to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Looking into this, if I'm using grain, I gotta get it closer to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. That helps with eliminating other wild bacteria from getting in, yet it allows lactobacillus to still do its thing. So yeah, it needs more time. I'm at 4.1 my pH. So I think another 24 hours, I'll check it. Hopefully we'll be good by then. And here we are, 24 hours later. 2 days total of souring. Oh, my glasses are steaming up. Okay, so I gotta do the next steps now. Add the hops, steep them, pitch the yeast. Before I do that, I'm gonna go on a jog, and I'll address this when I come back. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I have Experimental Stone Fruit by Yakima Valley. I also have Lemonade. Let's see how much I have of each, roughly. 1 ounce of stone fruit and 1.5 ounces of Lemonade. That's great. That's enough to hop with and enough to dry hop with as well. So yeah, let's do this. Let's go. Let's keep going. Temp is currently 140 degrees Fahrenheit in the kettle here. I'm gonna hold it there. The program says 65 IBUs right now. I'm sure if I were to have this tested, I bet the IBUs would be closer to like 15, 20. That's my guess. But a lot of flavor though. I'm at 10:57. Sweet. That's about where I wanted to be. Loving it. So I think I'm going to go with 0.35 ounces combined, half lemonade, half stone fruit, and then early in fermentation and later again in fermentation. That's so I can see what biotransformation does a little bit. Also, to have the hops kind of bind the polyphenols with the proteins that are in the malt. This haze on this should be pretty good because some lactic acid bacteria can create haze. Not only that, if you have a pH higher or lower pre-boil, the proteins can't coagulate and drop out of suspension, so essentially left with more haze. So if you could maybe just get a ton of haze in this if you just did a straight up steep, because you're not, and your pH was low, and lactic acid bacteria, that's possible. But I put all the parameters in place regardless beforehand. So yeah, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the tasting on this. Hopefully it's up in about 3 weeks. And yeah, get out there and do something weird with sour beer.